The next component of the admin scale, numbered 6, is called projects. When people learn more about this component, it usually brings up, sort of negative emotions. You will see why in just a moment. Let's look at the definition. A project is a series of steps written in sequence to carry out one step of a program. L. Ron Hubbard. That's the definition. What did you just think of? I'm sure you thought to yourselves, my God, I can't believe all this has to be written about once again, in detail. Yes, that's right. The definition says precisely, a sequence of steps presented in written form to carry out nothing more than just one step of a program. You remember that, right? The program is made up of certain steps or targets. So, a project means that we take one target out of a program and write about it in detail, step by step, how we're going to accomplish it. Do you know why that brings up some sad or negative emotions in people? Because they think right away, God, what a bunch of bureaucracy. There's so much burdensome writing here. Exactly, that's true. It seems like a huge amount of laborious writing, but it bypasses a whole lot of unnecessary work. You could illustrate this principle with this story here. A friend of mine told me this story. He also heard it from someone, but that's not the point. What's the idea? Here's how the plot went. Everyone knows that the Swedish people, or the Swedes in general, are very, solid and thorough people that like to think everything through to the very last detail. And the Russian people, or the Russian person, he is, just a bit off the cuff and bold. In other words, the main thing is to get into a fight and then we'll figure it out. So, imagine this picture. Those very same Swedes are sitting at a table and working out a plan of action for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. They're writing, arguing, discussing, working out the details, etc. A Russian storms in and laughs, "Ha, the Swedes, what are you sitting around for?" And they tell him, "What are we supposed to do?" So he replies, "What are you supposed to do? You're supposed to work." So they answer, "Then go and work if you're supposed to." So the Russian runs away and the Swedes keep sitting there, well into the night. The next day, the picture remains the same. They keep sitting around, discussing, mulling it over, up to the very last trifles, working out everything in detail. And again, the Russian runs in and says, "You guys are still sitting around? What are you sitting around for?" And they ask, "So what are we supposed to do?" And he says, "You're supposed to work." So they say, "Then go and work if you're supposed to." And he goes away and goes to work again. The Swedes keep sitting there well into the night. They put all the commas in place in their plans, very scrupulously worked out plans, and then went to work. Here, I have a question for you. Sort of an obvious question we don't need an answer for. Who will be the first to reach the finish line? The Russian or the Swedes? It's obvious that time spent in aligning things is a very important procedure. Time very well spent. Quite often, people will tell you a phrase that goes like this: "I don't have the time to sit around, write something, align it, etc." That's actually a lie. When a person says that he does not have time, there is always time. It's always ticking. Here it is, right there, ticking. There is time, and when a person says he does not have time, then basically he's prioritizing something else. So, no time is not a reason not to do something. At that moment, he or she simply thinks that something is more important than something else. If in our work we start copying all the time with tasks to be done, and never sit down to align our upcoming strategic plans and steps, if you will, then we'll keep running around all of our lives, and the group will be just like a very aberrated group. Not one that goes directly from A to B, but one that goes all over the place, with no real direction, running around in circles, that type of thing. This is why projects happens to be a very important component in the administrative scale. And quite often the admin scale dies away, that is to say, at the program stage. People get to the programs very often and write the targets out in enthusiasm, and the projects, well, they can wait till later. They will say, we haven't got time to get on with these details and such. Okay. Let's look at the next component.